Hello, everybody, and welcome to Gambling and Rambling. I am joined by Corey Mello, Nick D'Angelo, and our new, well, he'll be a permanent guest on the show, and that's Alex Kellison. So today we're going to be going into the spread picks game by game. Corey, we'll start off with you. We have the Jets opened up at 11.5 against the Colts. This is Thursday Night Football against the Colts. And you're the Colts fan here, so go for it.
Yes. So Jets versus Colts. Over under is 45.5. Jets 2-5 against spread. Colts 5-3. Colts 4-1 in the last 5. I think this is another game where the Colts have to win. And I think they'll do that handily. The Jets, I did call the Jets last week, covering the Bengals.
You did.
I didn't think they'd win, but they did come out with a huge win for them. I mean, their season's already in the dumpster. So right now,
Mike White.
Yeah, I'm afraid to bet against the Mike White magic.
No,
absolutely
baby.
not. Yeah. I don't know.
So
Nobody's got game film on this guy. Like, he could just come out every play's a hat trick. You just never know.
No, regardless, I know his jersey and whatever end up in Canton, Ohio already after one game because the amount of completions he completed. That's ridiculous.
Magic Mike.
Yeah, no, I'm giving the Colts at home. It's down to 10.5 now. I think this is a blow up spot. I think Jonathan Taylor probably touches the ball 25 times in this game and they just smash him. So Colts minus 10.5, lock it up.
All righty. Alex, we'll go to you next.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with Corey here. We've got some tape on Mike White now. I don't think you strike white lightning in a bottle twice here. I'm taking Colts minus 10.5. I think that Jonathan Taylor is going to have himself a game, probably 2 touchdowns here.
Nick?
I mean, I think the Colts are going to win, but 10.5 points, taking the Jets with points.
Okay.
There's a lot of points in the NFL.
Yeah, it is a lot, but like we did see what Mike White looked like against, what was it, the Patriots when he got thrown in there and he looked real bad. I think he just had a really good game against the Bengals. But I'm going to take the Colts here at minus 10.5.
One thing though, Quentin Nelson is questionable for the game. So that might affect their rushing totals and their pass protection, but they were without him for the last 3 weeks. So hopefully that doesn't affect them too much. But
I think this will definitely be a big Jonathan Taylor game. It's just the Jets have the weakest run defense, and we'll get into that more in our DFS show. But yeah, Jonathan Taylor should eat here. He should get all the work and probably score at least 1 touchdown, if not multiple. So yeah, I'm taking the Colts here, minus 10.5. I don't think it'll be that entertaining of a game though.
News fest.
Yeah, Thursday Night Football, just another just terrible football game. But the next game, first game on the early game on Sunday, we have Raiders versus the Giants. The line has stayed the same, opened at Raiders -3. Giants are at home. We'll start off with Nick. What do you like here?
Way too much going on this week in Las Vegas. Huge distraction, very sad situation. But I actually like the Giants. Got the chance to watch a full Giants game last week. Kind of like Danny Dimes. I don't know, something about him. He's got a little magic in him. Going Giants.
Yeah. All right, Alex.
Yeah, I like Danny Dimes too. This is a tough one. You've got some stuff obviously going on in Vegas that's very sad, as Nick said, and Giants also came out with 13 positive COVID tests today, including Saquon, which is not great, obviously.
I think Saquon did just test negative again, though.
Did he? Did they retest him?
They did a retest, and because he was vaccinated, as long as you have a negative, I think as long as he's healthy enough with his ankle, he should play.
Right.
Saquon's still Saquon though. Like, is he that big of a game changer right now?
No running back is a game changer, Nick. We know this. There's
Derrick Henry.
not even
Oh.
Derrick Henry.
Derrick Henry.
What did the line change in that Rams Titans game? How much did the line change with Derrick Henry being out?
You know the percentage of offense he was for the
What did the line change in that Vegas or in that Rams Tennessee game?
Did the line open before the news came out?
I believe. Well,
Don't think so. That hurt Sunday.
He got hurt, but didn't he finish?
Well, I did see some people get an early line of 6.5. So it went from 6.5 to 7.5, which I guess is through one key number, but he was worth 1 point of line movement. Just
as of right now.
Yeah,
okay,
they won't change.
We'll get to that game.
Yeah,
later.
we'll get to that game.
Yeah.
I'm just saying running backs never matter. So Saquon missing or not missing doesn't affect the line.
Yeah. I was thinking for this game, I don't know. I was kind of torn. I don't think the Raiders are that good. I think they've kind of played a little cupcake of a schedule so far. They're 4-3 against the spread. Giants 4-4 against the spread. I'm gonna be with Nick. Give me the Giants at home dogs +3. I also kind of like the over here at 46. I know the Giants actually had a pretty good defense last week against Mahomes, but I don't think the Raiders have that good of a defense. And I think there's going to be points scored, even with the COVID news and the injuries to the Giants. I still think find a way to get over 46.
Well, this is one of probably the few games where everyone's going to be in agreement. I like the Giants too, +3 at home. I think they could just flat out win this game. The Raiders we've already touched on, like there's so much going on with Gruden being out and now this Ruggs thing like that. And they're on the road. It's just going to be like I could just see them just coming out real flat in this game. So yeah, keep it simple. Giants +3. Next game, we have the Falcons at my Saints. Got Winston in the back here. RIP.
Yeah.
That was so sad. So sad. I
Will drain.
could have cried.
Down the drain.
Did you cry? Can we get a confirmation on camera?
I did not cry, but I was very, very upset. But at the same time, the Saints won that game, so I was very happy. A lot of mixed emotions on Sunday.
On your birthday.
So we have the line has now already moved to Saints -6. So money's been coming in on the Saints. I believe it might be down to 5.5 again. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm taking the Saints -5.5. Sean Payton. Usually you can't really win Coach of the Year when you already had a good team the previous year that had a winning record. But this year, with what he could do with this team and Jameis being out and playing with Trevor Siemian, like he could be Coach of the Year. Like who knows? And I mean, he's a genius. I think that he's going to come up with. I don't know. We don't know who's starting it. It could be Taysom. Regardless of the Simeon or Taysom, the Saints are winning this by a touchdown or more.
Who do you think is going to be the most impactful player for the Saints offense now that Winston's gone?
The most impactful.
And no Mike Thomas.
I mean, it's the coaching. Our defense is is what really is going to win us a lot of games.
I know, but I'm talking about the offense. So what's going to be the catalyst? Who's going to move that ball for your offense now that your starting quarterback's out?
Well, Kamara is obviously our big part of our offense. Number 2, when Taysom Hill comes back, he's gonna run the ball a ton. Like Taysom Hill, like Peyton has won tons of games without Drew Brees. Like Teddy Bridgewater won like 5 in a row. Taysom had like one loss and like 4 wins. It doesn't matter. It's John.
No
Payton.
question, he's a great coach. Not quite to the Belichick level, but he's getting there. He's solid.
He could be the best. I think he's the best coach in the league, but
A very good coach.
Saints fans are just delusional.
yeah, because I was delusional in my best pick of the week last week, taking money line against the Bucks, and we beat him with Trevor Siemian. Just remember that.
You did.
Trevor Siemian, Marquez Callaway, and Traquan Smith beat Tom Brady, Mike Evans, and Chris Godwin.
The Saints have Brady's number, whatever it is.
Yeah, It's Brady.
Peyton, I think it's Peyton probably. I mean,
Yeah.
I think he just knows for whatever reason, and no other team seems to be able to copy them. But the Saints have his number for sure. He doesn't want to
Now
see
we
the
get to play
Saints
the
in the
Falcons.
playoffs.
Yeah. Well,
Who are you taking, Corey?
I'm taking Falcons +6.
Of course you are.
I am. I don't think if Trevor Siemian is playing football for the Saints on Sunday,
When has Trevor Siemian had an offensive line as good as the Saints?
it doesn't matter how good his offense. I mean, that does matter. That does play into a factor. We saw a whole,
What if Taysom Hill, they announced him starting? Who would you take?
I mean, I'd lean more Saints, but if Trevor Siemian is taking snaps, I'm taking Falcons +6 on the road.
All right.
I think the Falcons are going in the right direction here too. Kyle Pitts has been just absolutely eating.
Did you see what happened against the Panthers? Well, Ridley's out. That's big for them.
Ridley's out, so that's big for sure. I think they just keep feeding Pitts, though. I mean, Matt Ryan is clearly establishing a relationship with that, and Cordarrelle has kept it up. The early winner of the fantasy season, Cordarrelle Patterson, has been able to keep production going. So I agree with Corey here. With Trevor Siemian, I think starting. We were talking about this earlier. They probably have an expanded package for Taysom, but I think Siemian gets a nod. And against that guy, I'll take some points for sure.
Nick?
I like the under just because I think there's no great playmakers that can make a difference. I mean, if running backs don't matter, the Saints have nobody. And yeah, Ridley's out. Kyle Pitts is pretty good, but is he going to put up 20 points himself? Probably not. And I don't know. I like the under. Probably could go either way.
So
Running backs also matter more when they catch passes and are treated like a receiver. So I will say that when you're Derrick Henry and all you do, I mean, yes, he's the best north-south runner, but a player that that's all he does, they're worth less than a player like a McCaffrey or a Kamara that can line up at receiver.
All right. Well, I think we spent enough time with rambling on about how good his Saints are without James Winston.
So now we got the Bills at Jaguars. The line opened at -14, and now it's already up to 14.5 through that key number. We'll start off with Alex.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you guys listened last week, Nick's number one rule, I'm all for it. We don't bet against the Bills. All right.
I don't think number one.
I don't think they lay another stinker of a half of football like they did against the Dolphins. And they ended up still covering that game.
Yeah.
This is clearly a don't overthink it game. Give me Bills -14.5.
I second that. No other analysis needed here. It's all in the commandments.
Yeah. I'm taking Bills as well. 14.5. Jags 2-5 against spread. Bills 4-1. Like Alex said, they covered in the second half of that game. They turned it on. They came out a little flat, and I don't expect that to happen again. And Urban Meyer just doesn't know how to coach in the NFL. He's horrendous.
Yeah, I'm another game. I'm glad when we can be in agreement. And the Bills -14.5, it's nice if you can get the 14, but yeah, this Jaguars team, like Urban Meyer, it's probably his only year in the NFL because he just can't get, he couldn't beat Geno. He couldn't even keep it close with Geno Smith in that. I mean, I thought he could at least keep that game close. That was horrendous what we saw. So yeah, I mean, the Bills, Diggs could we'll talk about Diggs and DFS, but he's going to have a game.
Yeah.
He's going to have a
great
game.
stack right there.
Good. Yeah. All the Bills are just going to have great games, I think. Don't want to spend too much longer on that one. That's just going to be a complete blowout. Next game, we have the Brownies at the Bengals.
Game of the week, baby.
The line, I don't know. So I guess the line hasn't moved. Opened at 2.5. I thought I saw 3 at one point, but
it's
maybe
bounced around, but it's back down to 2.5.
Okay, so it's at Bengals -2.5 at home. Nick, explain why the Browns are the play.
Trying to channel my inner Buddha here. My head's in a blender. I don't know what's going on with the Browns. They're they're being the old Browns again, and I'm upset. And I thought this would never happen again in my life.
Did you know? There's a phrase that the man named Juju Smith-Schuster made up about the Browns, right?
Yeah, how's karma treating Juju Smith-Schuster right now? Oh, man.
Browns,
I mean,
Browns.
listen, we know that Odell's an avid listener of our show, so here's a message for you, Odell. Grow up, Peter Pan. Count Chocula. Lock it up. Be a man. You need to be a professional. Like, congratulations, you got one catch. Pull it together. Stop listening to your dad. Like, are you just going to quit and start a reality TV show with the Lonzo Ball's dad and your dad? Like, come on. Pull it together. Be a professional athlete. You're making $15 million a year. Suck it up for one game. Come on.
I'd watch that.
He doesn't want to be there. He doesn't want to be there. I do you know what I honestly think? I think because I'm pretty sure that the Saints were reaching out for trade talks with Odell, and my theory is that like he wanted to get traded, and the Saints probably wanted the Browns to take on some of the salary, and they refused. And now he's angry that they didn't trade him, and now that's why he's putting up a fuss and.
Yeah, I mean,
probably
the
waived.
drama that comes with Odell Beckham is only worth it when he's putting up successful games, and he's got more drops than catches probably this year.
When's the last time he had a 100-yard game or a touchdown?
I couldn't tell you.
Oh,
It's
wow.
not on the Browns. Maybe once or
Like with
twice.
the Giants. Like this
I don't know.
dude.
I saw something today that said Odell Beckham was a product of Eli Manning, and starting to believe it.
Yeah. So are you taking Brownies plus 2.5?
I don't know, man. I don't even want to think about it.
You have to make a pick, Nick. You have to make a pick.
I mean, I think the Bengals are going to bounce back after a bad Jets week. I think Burrow and Jamar Chase clearly have like an actual team camaraderie going in that locker room, and people are going to get behind that. So I just like the momentum of the Bengals right now.
Yeah.
Corey?
I'm going the opposite. I'm taking Browns 2.5. I think we saw with the Bengals, they have good, stretches where they play well. But the Bengals defense gave up way too many points to Mike White. I mean, that's unbelievable. I know Baker's not fully healthy and they have all this drama going on, but they're just going to, revert back to what they know best is running the ball. And even Michael Carter for the Jets had a great game. I know he caught a lot of balls out of the backfield. I think he had 10 receptions or something crazy like that. I think, Chubb is maybe not fully back healthy with his hammy, but I mean, he's still one of the better running backs in the NFL. Yeah. And I saw something today that Jamar Chase said that him and Joe Burrow could be like a better Devonta Adams and Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, he was right about that.
No, he's not, because that duo of A-Rod and Adams, if they have been playing together for longer, they'd be up there with, Peyton Manning and Marvin Harrison for the most touchdown between a duo. They're insane.
We'll see what Burrow and Chase do in their career.
I mean, we will. I'm just saying, like, I don't think.
Has there been a game this year Chase hasn't got a touchdown?
Did he catch one last week? Yeah, he did. So trying to think. As I was saying, I'm like,
yeah, Chase.
Yeah,
Chase. Devonta Adams is an amazing player. He's, coming into the year, everyone would say he's the best receiver in the NFL. He's one of the best. But like when you're speaking purely from just like a talent perspective, again, we're gonna come back. Chase will look back and people will think, wow, he was the best receiver then. He's been the best receiver since he started his career. He's like, what is he, 19 years old?
No, he's definitely older than 19. He's 20.
At least, yeah. He took that year off after playing.
Pretty sure you can't be in the NFL if you're under 20.
He played 2 and then took one off, right?
He's 21.
Yeah, see.
But I know when he was in college torching these corners when he was 19 and having that season. Then he took the year off and now he's back. Okay. Alex, what are your thoughts on that?
This is a tough one. I'm actually going to be at this game, so looking forward to that. But both teams coming off of bad losses. I don't know which was worse, to be honest. I think the Bengals are the better team. I'm going to take Bengals minus 2.5 here. I just, with the OBJ stuff and Baker not being fully healthy, I don't see myself picking the Browns here in the near future.
I'm actually, for all the talk that I've hyped up, the Bengals. I've been on the Bengals before the season started, saying that
My
they could be a playoff team. I'm taking the Browns, plus 2.5. I think this is just one of those games where it's just a defense. It's just a little bit of a mismatch for the Bengals. I think that the Browns, because we know the Bengals offensive line is one of their weaker points. And I think that this will be one of the best, defensive fronts that they've gone against. I think Garrett could continue his defensive player of the year run right here. And to me, this is like a game where the Browns know if they lose this game, it's like their playoff hopes are almost gone, in my opinion. I think that this is like a must win for them. And I just think there's a do or die for them. So I'm gonna go ahead and take the points. The Bengals, I could still see this coming as another Bengals win, but I'm gonna take points of the 2.5 with the Browns here.
Hungry dogs
So,
run faster, right?
Moving on to the next game. What's that?
Hungry dogs run faster.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean,
And then-
are the
then-
Browns going to be able to put up more than 10 points this week? The Steelers defense is just
That's what I
not
mean.
that good. And the Bengals defense, I think, is underrated. at
But
this point.
honestly, what I think Odell honestly gave Baker some issues. I think with the drama Odell brought, Baker maybe in the back of his head was always thinking like, do I need to get the ball to Odell? Is he going to be mad after the game? Like, I don't know. Like I could see just him being a little bit more focused with not having to deal with Odell this game. And then
He's not dealing with them.
yeah, Odell's not. I don't think Odell was dismissed from practice. I doubt he plays this week.
He's not playing.
I know. I'm
if any-
saying he's not dealing with them. I mean, on the field, yeah, maybe, but like,
Yeah, but he already said he's not. He's just surprised by I think this will actually end up helping him not like if Odell plays, I'd honestly rather take the Bengals because I think that could just be a bunch of miscommunication and things being forced for no reason. So, as long as Odell is not playing, I'm on the Browns.
Good to hear.
Okay. Next game we have Patriots versus the Panthers. At Panthers. The line opened at Patriots -3. It's now up to 3.5. Corey, we'll start with you.
Yeah, both teams 4-4 against spread. Panthers are home pups, 3.5. Panthers are 1-4 in the last 5. Taking Panthers plus 3.5. I like the Panthers. Their offense is a lot better than the Patriots. Their defense is
Have
not.
you watched Mac Jones recently? I like that statement makes me think that you haven't actually watched a Patriots.
PJ Walker.
PJ Walker is starting.
He is starting.
PJ
Yeah.
Walker is starting, and get this. All right. Even if
For the
Sam Darnold
Patriots?
was. No. For the
Oh,
Panthers.
They said something with this Darnold's concussion thing. Like, yeah, it's PJ Walker.
Even if Darnold plays, Belichick has beaten Darnold. He's 3-0 against him. He's beaten him by 14, 33, and 34 points in those 3 matchups.
He also had
Yes.
Tom Brady in those games.
True.
So, and I don't think Mac Jones. All he
Now
is,
he has Mac Jones.
He's a
who's
game
better
man.
than
we
Jones.
only need 3.5. We don't
Yeah.
need 33.
No, I know, and actually, to be honest, I know PJ Walker. He's a backup. He's actually a pretty good player who
He is a
doesn't
good
get
backup.
enough credit. I know, but like he for the Colts, he was a during I know his preseason, he looked very good preseason. Actually, Andrew Luck, talked about how good he was and that his dad should bring him into the XFL and get him a job, which he did. And PJ Walker, again, I know it's not the NFL, it's not Bill Belichick. He's not terrible. He's
Went
I
off.
agree with
He
that.
played well in the XFL. Wasn't he like their mid-season since they didn't finish?
Yeah, no,
MVP?
I agree.
Yeah,
I think
We're back.
it's not like a huge downgrade, just like Baker to Case Keenum wasn't a huge downgrade. It's kind of
And-
similar.
And if CMC plays this week, I think they're going to rely very heavily on this. I didn't know Darnold was potentially out, but still, I like Panthers plus 3.5.
I think the Patriots are kind of on a hot streak right now. They've looked pretty good the past couple weeks, and I'm going to keep riding the Patriots train until then. I think it has something to do with their new coffee sponsor, Toro Coffee, for the Go-Getters. But I don't know. They're getting fresh coffee in the building, and it seems to be working.
I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna actually take the Panthers here plus 3.5. I kind of with like I don't think PJ Walker is too much of a downgrade from Darnold. It is a downgrade, but I don't think by much. And then then McCaffrey should be back. He got activated, I believe, off of IR.
How many quarters you giving him, PB, before he's
What?
out again? How many
I mean,
quarters?
I think because he got set back. I think if he plays, like he's ready to go. I don't think they're gonna mess with that. So like if he's playing, he's gonna be ready to go. I just think the Panthers, one, it's 3.5. If it was 3, I would just want to avoid this or take the Patriots. But the 3.5, I think, then it just leans me slightly towards the Panthers. They got Gilmore. You know, their defense is the strongest part of their team. They actually have like a pretty decent defense, definitely above average. And I think it could be enough to just give Mac Jones some issues and them keep it close. So I'm going to go with the Panthers plus 3.5.
All right, boys. This is my my first week on the show. Obviously, this is my first lock of the week.
This is your lock.
This is my lock. We got Pats minus 3.5. I jumped on it early and got it at 3, but I'm still fine with 3.5. I think the Patriots. I don't see the Panthers scoring more than 10 points in this game, and I think the Patriots are more than capable of putting up 17. Also would lean towards the under. Panthers are 6-2 to unders in their last 5. The Panthers are not good. They've got 2 good players on offense, one really good, and I just think Belichick knows how to take away people's best options. And
yeah, that he does do that well. So that's the thing. If McCaffrey plays, then I think DJ Moore could have a big game.
Yeah,
he
but
started out the season so well. Like he really was emerging as like a top 15 wide receiver, DJ Moore.
He still is.
Yeah.
Been a little quiet,
He's been a little quiet. He's getting the volume though.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah,
I think he benefits way more when McCaffrey is played. When McCaffrey's stat is when, he hasn't had his, but if McCaffrey plays, look out for DJ Moore or Robbie Anderson finally delivering.
The backfield makes for a multi-dimensional offense, which is the reason why running backs are important. So it makes sense that DJ Moore does better when he has a good running back. Who knew?
He's tracked you twice now in this episode, PB, about having you have to comment on running backs.
We'll get him over from the dark side. Don't worry.
Yeah, I know.
Again, players like McCaffrey and Kamara matter slightly more. Still not a whole lot, but they matter slightly more just because they can line up at receiver and catch the ball.
Are you talking in like fantasy or just like
I'm talking about
NFL?
in the NFL? Like obviously in fantasy, the running backs are like McCaffrey. They're amazing plays. They're like the most valuable. But in real life, they're worthless. Not worthless, but they're the least important position on an NFL team, I think.
Okay. Well,
I've never seen anyone just discredit themselves like that on a podcast. But
I'm not. People can think what they want. Just look at any Super Bowl team and tell me when running backs have ever mattered. The Chiefs are in there with like Damian Williams, like all these the 49ers when they had the best rushing offense in the league. It was like all these undrafted dudes. Like, come on, the position doesn't matter as long as you have a good O-line. Throw any NFL talent behind there and they're going to have a good game.
All right, on to the Cowboys and Broncos. The spread is at 7.
Well, it opened at 7. It's at 9.5 now, Nick.
Whew. All right, 9.5. I still like the Cowboys.
Okay.
Cedric Wilson is like their kind of emerging superstar playmaker, which I absolutely love.
Until Gallup just takes his job right back.
Yeah, but I think they're gonna keep using him for some like trick plays, just to keep everything off balance. I think McCarthy's creative like that. Yeah, the guy's like Picasso drawing up passing routes. So I mean, let's see what he got. Cedric Wilson, kind of fun. sprinkled in there for midseason, but I like the Cowboys. That defense is good. Give me the points. Take them away. I don't know.
Corey?
Cowboys.
Yeah. Broncos 4-4 against spread. Cowboys only team undefeated against spread this year. Broncos actually 1-4 in the last 5 against spread. Teddy Two Gloves covers is not performing very well in Mile High City. So with that being
He
said,
did last week.
I mean, he did, but I still don't think the Broncos, they have weapons. They just don't have, enough time to get the ball to their weapons. Cortland Sutton, great. Jerry Jeudy being back is great for them. I mean, I just think the Cowboys are they're on a roll right now. So that's why I'm going to be taking Broncos plus 9.5. I am.
That's so funny because that's like my same logic. Cowboys are on a roll. Their line's inflated, and I'd just rather take the Broncos 9.5. Like, I think this is this is like my favorite, where you take a team that has underperformed against the spread against a team that has overperformed against the spread. And the Cowboys are, like we said, they're undefeated against the spread, and that doesn't last a whole season.
No,
like,
it doesn't.
That's why DB's fading Bitcoin, because it's only going up. So he's like, it's gonna cool off soon, right?
I don't know what kind of analogy that was, but I'm gonna take the Broncos.
Yeah.
I think this is purely just a numbers play. Like, I think the Cowboys win this game. I think, but I just think it could be just a backdoor cover here.
Yeah, I like the over at this as well. 49.5. I like the over.
Yeah. I mean, the Cowboys have been rolling offensively, top 5 probably team in the league. Assuming Dak's playing, I'm going to take Cowboys minus 9.5.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, Broncos defense is pretty beat up, tons of injuries. They just got rid of Von Miller. They're kind of selling the season away in a bit. I think that's going to discourage players. I just don't think that they have the offense to keep up even 9 points. So that's my final word.
All right. Well, moving on to the next game, we have Vikings at Ravens. Ravens coming off a bye. It opened at -5.5 Ravens, and now it's up to -6. We'll start with Nick this time.
Yeah, crab cakes in football, that's what Maryland does. Give me the Ravens. They're just one of those teams that's always consistent. They don't make too many mistakes. They seem to always be there to capitalize on mistakes defensively. They're always hanging in games. I think the Vikings are just middle of the road type of team. Probably give them a little bit of trouble, just how they're good at game planning. So I like the Ravens though.
I'm with you there, Nick. I am smashing the Ravens -6. Anything under a touchdown, I am doubling down on this. Kirk Cousins is 1-10 against the spread against teams coming off a bye.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. Every Kirk Cousins against the spread is a fun one to list off. Primetime games, etc. But I think the Ravens have had 2 weeks of just kind of being angry after that 24-point loss to the Bengals. They obviously love to run the ball, and the Vikings run defense stinks out loud. I think this is a rout. I think the Ravens are going to kill them.
I'm gonna go with the Ravens as well. I got them at -5.5. Remind me never to bet on Kirk Cousins in a primetime game again. I made the mistake. The mistake of, on the show, I took the Cowboys, and that's when it was Dak could have still played, and then he gets ruled out in Cooper Rush. Well, I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna go ahead and take the Vikings here. This is a prime regression spot for Kirk Cousins. He's terrible against the spread on prime time. This is a great one to just boost his resume a little bit and regress to the mean. No, he just looked terrible. And, I lost more money than I already lost on Sunday, because this is my worst Sunday of the year so far. And,
I'm okay with it. Do we want to add that as the third commandment?
Never bet on Kirk Cousins in prime time. He is atrocious.
All right. We got a third rule.
Bad he is.
Cooper Rush, dude. Cooper Rush.
Unbelievable.
That's all we got to remember.
I was just watching that game in shock. I couldn't I couldn't believe it. But
Yes.
yeah, I'm taking. I love being able to bet against Kirk Cousins. It's just, and I'm gonna do it here. Ravens off the bye. Yeah, give me that, Corey.
You know what? I love the over at 49.5. And usually when there's points scored, that usually means that the game is kind of has a game script of it being close. The Vikings look terrible. They were so bad
So
against the
bad.
Cowboys. Like I'm confused on
They
why.
lost a key defensive player too, didn't they?
Yeah, they did, and I'm confused on why people are like, I even thought the Vikings would smash, Sunday night. And we've learned that don't bet Kirk Cousins prime time. Bet Kirk Cousins during the day. Give me
Oh no.
+6. I don't think the Ravens. I mean, the Ravens' offense is, it's not terrible. It's not great. It's middle of the pack. If Lamar Jackson, gets pressured, he runs away and he does his thing. I like the Vikings. I think this is gonna be a very high scoring game. I don't think the Ravens have a great defense either. I think from years past, everyone's blinded by, Ed Reed, Ray Lewis, and even years most recent, with
Yeah, no, their defense isn't the greatest, but
not that good.
Kirk
And
Cousins take advantage of it? Probably not.
I think they do. I think the Vikings cover, and I think the Vikings win this game actually.
If they do cover, it's going to be because I don't know, like he just I have no idea. I just don't see them covering at all. I don't know how they cover.
Were you taking a money line?
Maybe some pizza money on the money line, but that's about it.
All right, next game we have Texans Dolphins opened at Dolphins -7. A little bit of money coming on the Texans. It's down to 6.5. I'll go ahead and start off with this one. I'm just going to go ahead and take the Dolphins -6.5. This is probably one of it's not my lock of the week, but I like this one a lot. I think that the Dolphins have gone a little underrated. Yes, they've lost a lot of games, but I think Tua's actually looked I think he's looked pretty solid in my opinion. And he's still got weapons with Waddle, Gesicki, Devontae Parker's now healthy. They've got their defense. Yeah, Gaskin, but I mean, that doesn't matter.
He's like, you're
doesn't
right.
Matter.
Gaskin does make a difference.
No, he did. No, he doesn't.
3 traps, you're out.
Tua makes a difference, and their defense, which is now coming back healthy, I think they make a difference. And even if Tyrod comes back, I think the line is already accounted for that. I think this line could have been closer to 10 if Davis Mills was in there.
I have a question for the whole group. Do we think the Texans team right now could be one of the worst teams ever? I need to look up how many times a team has been shut out in a year because they just
you think they're
really bad. They can't even score.
They scored 21 points against the Rams.
Yeah,
it was all backdoor garbage time, but I mean that's not shut out.
When they're actually playing, I get it. They can't score a point.
I'm gonna take. I like the Dolphins. I think they can. This could be just a game where the Dolphins just kind of. I like the Dolphins coming into the season, but they've had some injuries and things of that nature. Yeah, but I think they're better than people give them credit for, in my opinion. So I'm gonna go ahead and take the -6.5. Corey,
I mean, they're the worst team in the NFL.
No, they're not.
They're probably tied with the Chiefs against the spread. They're 2-5.
Oh, I was like, what do you?
No.
Against the spread, that's fine.
5-1.
Regression to the mean, Corey.
I understand. We already talked about that with the Cowboys, but I like Tyrod Taylor. I think he's been given the short end of his stick his entire career. He's been a great quarterback everywhere he goes. He's led teams to playoffs, wins. And you saw in the first game they actually looked competitive when he was playing until he got hurt. I don't think the Dolphins are good. They have a lot of issues in that front office that is obviously showing on the field. Brian Flores is obviously not a great head coach that everyone thought he'd be. Last year, they didn't make the playoffs. They were 10-5. They missed it by 10-6, wherever they were. They missed it by a game. I don't see them. They're not progressing anywhere. They haven't gotten better week by week. They just they're losing games that they should be winning. And the games that they do win is against the Jaguars no, they didn't beat the Jaguars. They lost to Jaguars in London. Give me Texans. Give me Texans.
You want Texans. So you're going to bet on Tyrod Taylor because of his impressive length of participation trophies.
Yeah, I am. I think he's a good quarterback. He showed, in Buffalo, he was great. He got ran out. Cleveland, he was pretty good.
There's a reason like he's a backup and he hasn't got years and years of experience.
The Chargers got stabbed in his lungs with a,
that was unfortunate.
Golf tee.
Herbert,
Golf tee to the lung.
Exactly. And Texans are 4-4 against the spread. I'm staying with the numbers here. Give me Texans plus the 6.5.
Participation trophy on the line.
Corey, I'm with you there. I think Tyrod's better than he's given credit for. This Texans football team is a weird one. They're getting 55%.
They're a bad one. They're not a weird
They're
one.
a bad one. They're not worse than the Lions, though, to answer your question, Nick. There's no way they're worse than the Lions. But, we've got locks of the week going. I'm going to come on and have a Dust Bowl of the week, and this is for sure that game. And any Dust Bowl of the week, I'm probably going to take the points, regardless of who it's going to be. If I can get points, even as gross as it is, I'm going to go Texans here.
I like the strategy, but gross.
So who are you taking?
Nick.
I guess the Texans. I kind of like that logic.
We flipped them. We flipped them so quick.
You like leaning Dolphins and you go Texans. Well,
Yeah.
I'm sorry you're on the losing side, Nick.
Okay, we'll see.
You'll see.
I got laughed out of the room last week. You're talking about the Bengals, and
I already regret betting on the Texans.
You will, as of you will have.
I don't feel much better betting.
Honestly, I could see the Dolphins like
I'm flopping around like a
beating them
Dolphin.
bad too. I could see the Dolphins like really beating them. We'll see. Next game we have Chargers at Eagles. Opened at -3 Chargers. Money's coming on the Eagles. It's now down to Chargers -1.5.
What is this line? Dude,
What is this line?
What are you?
Those things that PB said that like the team trends is just like inflated. In the Chargers case, I think it's just deflated. Call up Joe Biden. Let's get some deflationary efforts in here. Maybe the Chargers -3.
It's -1.5.
it's -1.5.
Oh, I got the wrong sheet.
Yeah, it's opened at -3.
You're
And then
looking at the open.
They open at
you have to look
-3.
at the spread now.
Yeah, reading's tough, Either way, give me Chargers with whatever amount of points they're trying
He
to get.
doesn't even know. He's just like, I'll just take the Chargers.
I'm that confident. The deflationary efforts against the Chargers do not go unnoticed by me. I think Herbert's going to bounce back. Here we go.
Corey?
Yeah, I was confused as well. I know the Eagles put up a 40 stack last week, but
On the Lions.
I know it was on the Lions. That's why I'm so.
Who cares?
They are at home. So they're still underdog pups, but at home, I don't think Jalen Hurts is not the option. He's good at what he does, extend plays, but I don't think he doesn't have enough time under his belt to be like a true quarterback right now. Maybe, in a year from now, he might be changing our tune about him. With that being said, Herbert is, trending up to be, he was talking about being an MVP of the year like 3 weeks ago. And they had a couple down games where they lost, but it's still the same team. I like the Chargers here. Better weapons on offense. Give me the Chargers -1.5.
Alex?
Yeah, this Vegas has to know something that we don't on this one. This makes how are the Chargers not favored by at least like 6.5, if not a touchdown? It makes absolutely zero sense to me. And for that reason, and that reason alone, I have to go Eagles +1.5.
Yes.
It's
my
the
exact
only,
thought process.
is the only reason I can justify not taking the Chargers in this place. It's like
I have a little bit of reason. I don't think it's like some news that's gonna break and everyone's like, "Oh, now that's why." I think it's just a really good matchup for the Eagles. And this is, again, this is that a couple weeks ago or however many, when the Bengals were playing the Packers before the Bengals were on their big win streak. And I said, and it was like Packers -3. And I said, and you guys were just like, that's a lock. Like, how is this line -3?
You
And I
didn't
said,
win that. It pushed.
yeah, pushed. I said that's a complete avoid to me. While you guys were like, that's
Erroneous.
you said it was like your favorite bet of the week. This is a classic. You don't bet it, like you don't put any money on it. But if you were forced to just make a pick, like in the show, I'm gonna take the Eagles +1.5. The reason why I think the Eagles match up well is, like we've been saying all year, the Chargers are a run funnel defense. They give it up to the short middle field, and they don't really give up like, medium to long range, passes. Well, Eagles don't do that anyway. That's not Hurts's game. He runs the ball a lot. He uses Goddard, who's going to be a big mismatch for the Chargers. They'll use Boston. They'll use this, 3-headed backfield. That's how they're going to play against this Chargers team. And I think that's how they keep this one close, if not win it. And then next week, if the Eagles win this or cover this, everyone's going to be off the Chargers. Everyone's going to be, and then the Eagles will be inflated, and then I'll go right back to the Chargers.
Hammer them.
Yeah, that's my thought process on that game. It definitely is one of the trap games of the week. There's one other trap game as well, and
Yes, there is.
And it'll be the same situation. So the next game we're talking about is Packers versus Chiefs. Opened, of course, it opened at Chiefs -2.5, and then all this COVID news broke. It's now up to -7.5. With Jordan Love starting. We'll start with Corey on this one.
Yeah, Packers 7-1 against the spread, obviously with Rodgers. Chiefs 2-6 against the spread with Mahomes. Last 19 games for the Chiefs, 3-15-1 against the spread. Chiefs don't like blowing teams out. They don't like covering games. And with this news, obviously we saw what happened last week with Aaron Rodgers was out in his top 3 receivers. That's a little bit different now that Aaron Rodgers is out. Jordan Love's going to be thrusted in. I think, I don't know. I want to take Packers plus money here, just with the way the Chiefs were playing. They've been struggling, but I don't know. It's going to be hard to keep up with the Chiefs if Jordan Love doesn't know how to play football yet. So I'm going to take Chiefs here. I'm going to take -7, and I'm also going to take
-7.5 is what it's at.
7.5. Yeah, and I'm also going to take the over here. It's 47.5.
All right, Nick.
You know how I feel about the Chiefs. I think they're terribly overrated. We see it all year. They could barely beat the G-men.
We'll talk. Okay, well, say your thought on Mahomes. So when you talk to me about being discredited for just saying running backs don't
I
matter,
think he's overrated. Like anytime.
No, say he's dust. That's what you said.
Yes, he's dust.
Okay.
Anytime he gets
There you go.
pressured,
You lost all credibility.
He just chucks it deep. He's lucky as Tyreek Hill. If he didn't have that guy, he'd have a much different career narrative right now. You saw it the whole time. He just anytime he feels a little bit of pressure, chucked. Just tossing it deep. He connects on some of them. Sometimes he doesn't. That's just his game. People are figuring it out. And that defense is terrible. But all that being said, I think this is probably a change of the tape because people have been beating up on the Chiefs for the whole season. Kansas City's up in arms because they're playing terribly, and they're going to, take this opportunity to beat a vulnerable Packers team. So I like the Chiefs -7.5. But
you hated saying
You can't just do that. You can't flip flop like a fish.
sometimes your personal, you can't let your personal mentality get in the way of a business decision, Corey. We're trying to make money.
But when you're giving reasons why the other team isn't good, and then you go with them.
I can think anything I want, but facts are facts. I think Jordan Love's not going to beat the Chiefs.
Okay. They doesn't have to beat him. Can he cover 7.5?
He just has to cover, but still.
I just don't. I don't see it.
Yeah, hopefully we're all in agreement here, but I'm taking the Chiefs -7.5. I said even before this Aaron Rodgers news, when it was -1 or -2.5 Chiefs, I was going to bet them then, even with Rodgers was playing. I just think this was going to be, I mean, we'll never know because, it's not going to happen, but I think this is just going to be a big statement game from the Chiefs showing them that they are still a Super Bowl caliber team. And I think they'll just end up showing it to Jordan Love, and just by blowing that team out. So I know they haven't been good at covering, but this Packers team, like we've seen what this Packers team, how bad they can be without Rodgers, and like it's not pretty. So
Yeah, it's hard for
I
the
think
statement game without.
they don't have a good defense. Yeah,
but
Their defense is better without Jari Alexander. Like, figure that one out.
no, it's
sure,
not.
but
I don't know where you
Okay.
just came up with that, but
Alex, who you
Yeah.
taking?
Yeah, I mean, I bet this game yesterday. So sick. I grabbed the Packers +1.5 because before all the news came out. So that's super sick. But yeah, no, I completely agree with you guys. I think Jordan Love, I think it's, first start in 2 years. Game speed is just going to be too much for him. I think we see like less than 150 yards passing out of him. And I think the Chiefs cover 7.5 easy.
Hey, we might see Blake Bortles playing
The boat. The boat.
Keep that in mind.
Mahomes gonna steamroll this team.
Yeah. All right. Let's
Next game. This is the second one I was referring to. So we have Cardinals at 49ers, opened at -2.5 Cardinals. It is down to -1 for Cardinals. So money coming in on the 49ers. Nick, what do you like here?
Cardinals were the best team in football 2 weeks ago. I don't know why we're comparing them to the 49ers now, who can barely keep a game together. Yeah, it's kind of a no-brainer for me. Cardinals all the way.
That's just like the trap, and Nick just falls right into it.
It's like
cheese.
He just is like this
cheese.
team.
It's the piece of candy meme from from
Yeah,
Family
this is
Guy. Piece of candy.
all right.
Every time.
Trap.
Yeah.
One of us is going to bite. Like, everyone's like, oh, we got this. We're going to stump it. I'm like, I'll go against you.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna follow you right into the trap, Nick. I don't.
You guys are like looking, you're like mice that just like see it, and you're just like, I'm still gonna grab the cheese.
I don't think the 49ers. Okay, if they get Kittle back, maybe I change my tune a little bit here.
He's gonna play.
He is playing.
Who?
I think so.
Kittle. Is he for sure playing?
I think
He's
he'll be
practicing
back,
all week.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, all right, I'm going to back out the trap.
Kittle is worth how many line movement points?
I think it because it helps Jimmy G out so much with the short passing game. Brandon,
He's done so much this year.
Well, he's been hurt, so I mean, he hasn't really done much the entire season. But you've seen in the past with Jimmy G can be with Kittle. He's definitely a better passing quarterback. It's just a confidence thing when you have one of the best tight ends in the league playing.
Tight ends do matter,
and in the run game too.
Blocking and he's one of the best blocking tight ends.
And Kyle Murray's still a little banged up from last week, and even against the Packers, like he didn't look like that great. So I'm gonna take 49ers here at +1 and the over. I like the over here too, 45.5.
I love the over too, Corey. I love the over. If I bet this game, it's going to be the over. But in terms of making a pick here, I got to imagine the only reason I can see this line being at -1 is that Kyler's ankle is
yes,
worse
that's exactly what it is.
Yeah, it's worse than what we think it is, and he's either going to be immobile, or if he takes like a bad shot, they're going to pull him and not risk.
Or what I think could happen is he doesn't play.
You think he might not play at all?
I think he might not play at all. And we'll see Colt McCoy, in which case you're getting a steal with the +1 on the 49ers.
They are the Cardinals do have games in hand. And I mean, I know they're chasing with the Rams for that, but they can almost afford to give up a game here if that's what they're doing.
I mean, this is only Wednesday, but I've just been seeing some things that that I think that's why we can see the line. Like if he was ruled in today, I could see that line going to like Cardinals -3, but right now they're a little unsure, so they can't they can't let you get 49ers plus 3 right now. So
Right. Yeah.
I'm
So
just
like I
gonna
said,
go-
yeah, I'd take the over, and I'm gonna wait to bet this one for that exact reason, PB. I think if they rule Kyler good to go, this line kind of changes a little, and I'll take the 49ers plus money with an injured Kyler in the
yeah,
spot.
I would rather just take the +1 now, and then you have a really good number if they rule Kyler out, because the 49ers would be favored if Kyler gets ruled out. So
True.
I'm just gonna go ahead and I'll take the 49ers. And honestly, even if Kyler does play banged up, I could see the 49ers in this divisional game winning this. So
With their D line too, man.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
gonna get after him.
So next game we got, this is the Sunday night football game. We have the Titans at Rams that opened at Rams minus, what was it? You said
Minus
6.
six.
Okay, now it's up to Rams minus 7.5.
Yeah.
So we'll open with Corey.
I'm gonna keep beating this drum. Rams are my NFC Super Bowl pick, and they just got better. Von Miller added to. I know
100%.
he's not as good as what he was, 5 years ago, but he's still Von Miller, and he's a great snap count relief guy who can come in, 3rd and 5, come and rush the quarterback. Titans, we'll see how good Ryan Tannehill is without Derrick Henry. He's shown in the past that he's not a good quarterback without a good running game and play action. He was terrible in Miami. That might have something to do with their head coach. But
You think?
I mean, the Rams are so good. Give me Rams minus 7.5. I think it's a no-brainer. They didn't cover last week against the Texans, but I mean, when it's a 14-point spread, I mean, it's hard to cover that. So I think this.
I thought they did cover, but
What?
I thought they did cover.
Oh no, the Texans backdoor covered them.
Yeah, they did.
What was the final score?
They put up like 22 points. It was like 36-22,
Yeah, it was
something like that.
lost by half point.
Yeah.
Oh, I had the Texans. I have to change our records from last week because I put myself in the
I'm
law.
don't quote me on, but I'm pretty sure they did not cover.
I'll look it
They
up.
didn't.
So you keep talking.
And the Titans have a terrible defense. They had no business winning that game last week against Colts. So this is also kind of a homer pick. I need the Titans to lose for the Colts for any chance to make the playoffs. So Rams minus 7.5.
On that last game, dude, Carson Wentz is an absolute maniac. What, like,
I don't know.
What is he thinking? I agree. I mean, there's no reason the Titans should have won that game. And like you said, Von Miller doesn't have to be the Von Miller of 5 years ago or the Von Miller in the Super Bowl. He's got, Aaron Donald on that line as well. I think Rams cover no problem here without King Henry in the backfield.
Yeah.
What does that equate for? 70+% of the
Yeah.
offense.
Yeah, they're gonna be so lost.
What happens when you build your offense around a damn running back? You lose it all when the most injury-prone position goes down. Surprise, surprise. Even the king himself can't.
Fair enough. He's been healthy his entire career. So.
Doesn't matter. You don't invest so much of your team into a position that is the most injury-prone. And
There's a few guys you do it for. There's a few guys you
think
do it
there's
for.
zero
and King
guys. I
Henry
think
is
you
one of them.
never ever do that because of how much your season can change when things go bad. Like we saw with Henry, you pay the position too much, so it hurts the rest of your team. And then when they're down, this Titans team is not going to be good at all, in my opinion.
So you're taking Rams?
Yeah, I'm taking Rams minus 7.5 easily. I got the Rams minus 4.5. It's the easiest money I'll make this week. I actually got it on a look ahead line. This was before Derrick Henry was ruled out. The look ahead line was Rams minus 4.5. And that was like the only look ahead line I bet. I was like, this line is completely off. And it got up to 6 before the Henry news, and then it now is through 7.5. So I'm just going to keep my 4.5. But I still like the 7.5. But yeah, Nick.
Yeah, I like the Rams too. I think this one's pretty simple.
Jalen Ramsey locks down AJ Brown.
AJ Brown,
They take
and
him out of the
then-
game, and what you have Adrian Peterson in his first, like, he's not going to do. What is he, like 40 years old? He's not doing anything against this Rams team.
No, I think Stafford on the Sean McVay offense is something special. I actually put a bet in this week for the Rams to win the Super Bowl because
What odds did you get? Like plus 800 or something?
I'd have to look, but yeah, it was favorable for sure.
I still
right.
need to bet my Stafford MVP because I think he's gonna.
Let me look.
I was going to say I want to check out the odds on Stafford MVP parlayed with Rams Super Bowl. If you can do that, because
I bet you
that
could.
seems like some good money.
Yeah, but okay. While you guys are looking that up,
Plus 650.
650.
That's to win the Super Bowl.
That's
Yeah.
not, I mean,
Yeah, that's not a good number in my opinion. I think you need at least 800 or higher. 650? Like, okay. What your odds I think would be better because once you're in the playoffs, you lose and you're done. Just take the money line of the Rams each week and take your winnings and roll it into the next week, and you'd get better odds than 650. You understand what I'm saying? Like whoever the rank, because in the playoffs, the lines are going to be close. So you're going to get almost even money. You win 100, then take that 200, roll it into the next game, and you go all the way through, you'd get better odds than 650.
So you lose, but yeah.
No, if you win the Super Bowl, you would win.
Oh, yeah.
If you lose, you wouldn't have won that bet anyway.
I see. Starting in the playoffs, you're saying?
Yeah, you start in the playoffs if you're one and done, when you lose,
Money
you're out
line
anyway.
for 4 weeks in a row.
Yeah, you would just take your roll your winnings into the next week, and you'd have a better payout.
All right, we'll do that. I like that idea.
Gotta think a little bit sometimes about how Vegas tries to get you.
Not
Bears
allowed in
at what?
Not allowed in that city.
Last game, we have Bears at Steelers Monday Night Football. The line has not moved. It's at Steelers -6.5 at home. Nick, we know you love the Steelers, so we'll let you open this up.
That was probably the most fun game I've ever seen. Steelers Browns last week, but like this game might be pretty similar. I'm not sure it's going to go much different either. And I'll take Alex's logic from before. Like if it's going to be a dust bowl, take the points. So as much as it pains me again to go against my conscience here, gonna have to go with the Steelers. Sorry,
Wait, what? You make no sense. You're like, when it's a dust bowl, take the points, and then you lay the points on the Bears.
Oh, I thought the
Steelers are favored by 6.5 at home.
Oh God, this throws everything off. I don't really
know
want to.
what are you talking about?
Nick, you're on a sports betting show, man.
Again.
He's been talking too long. His brain is just.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah,
So you're taking the Bears +6.5.
I don't know that I want to do that.
But you said the Dust Bowl, take the points.
I know. All right. I just don't like the Bears. They're just not good. Sorry.
I'm with you there.
Is Matt Nagy out again? If Matt Nagy's out again, I might be inclined to take the Bears here at the points.
Yeah.
Honestly,
that's actually the best injury. Matt Nagy, that's their best chance to win.
I mean, the Bears were competitive in that game until like the end of third, fourth quarter. The
49ers won by double digits.
Let's get the
Bears
away
at the end.
I want the Bears fan analysis on Justin Fields.
I mean, the Bears are the last 10. The Bears are 3-7 against the spread. So that's a huge number to bet against. I don't know.
It's not good. It's not good. I don't think Justin Fields is the problem. I really don't. I think that for your same logic about if Mahomes didn't have Tyreek Hill or Travis Kelce, he's not the same guy. I think the same. I'm not comparing the two, but I think the same logic applies to Justin Fields here. He's got no offensive line. The run game's been good, but Darnell Mooney's our wide receiver 1 right now. Whatever happened to
No. Don't say that, because Allen Robinson is one of the best talented, most talented wide receivers in the league.
I agree.
And Justin
completely.
Fields has managed to make him irrelevant.
I agree completely, but I don't. I mean, as of right now, Darnell Mooney's wide receiver 1. Like, how could
that's not good.
It's not good. That's what I'm saying, though.
But he has Allen Robinson. He just that's bad if you can't connect with a player like that.
Yeah, I mean, if they even, God, I hate watching the Bears in prime time too, because it's just like they just lay an egg every single time. And if it's not against like Aaron Rodgers, it's like this just the worst game of all time, and they still lay an egg. I don't like either side here.
Neither.
This one's going to be ugly.
This is a gun to your head
Again,
game.
This is a gun to your head game. This is another Dust Bowl. I'm going to take the points, going to stick with my logic and go Bears plus 6.5.
Corey,
PB, juice that line.
juice the line. What are you talking about?
I don't know. You were saying something dumb about the juice last week. Nobody knows what that means.
I mean,
You're doing a gambling show and you don't know what juice means. That's,
You gotta
that's
know what
only
the juice
discrediting
means, Nick.
yourself.
You got to
All
know
right,
what the
well-
juice is.
I'm gonna move past Nick's mush brain at this point in time.
This show needs to end.
Gun to my head. I'm just gonna take the better team. Steelers minus 6.5. I don't like it. I'd rather bet the Bears, but the Bears just they're just I don't know what they are. They looked good last week and then they blew and they stopped playing the game. So I guess
They
Steelers
stink,
at
dude.
home minus 6.5.
They stink.
As much like I'm not touching this game betting wise, but one, I don't think either team is good. So I'm just going to go ahead and take the points with the Bears. I don't think the Steelers are good at all.
No.
I was super low. I was very high on them last year, but then they like took a bomb to their offensive line, and the Bears actually have like a good enough, I think, defensive. I don't know. Is Khalil Mack going to be back?
I think he's playing. Yeah.
Okay, so that helps them even more. I just think this could just be, God, these Monday, some of these Thursday and Monday night
Is
games.
Boswell
are
playing?
terrible.
Because
Right,
he got
concussed.
absolutely rocked last
So
week.
bad, dude.
And
And
So
their
bad.
backup kicker is really bad.
They,
No, that
they're
wasn't
going to sign someone.
yeah, they
That was
said-
a punter.
Yeah.
that was their
The,
punter.
the thing is, the over under is 40, and I almost like I'm inclined.
Give me
and
the
I-
under.
No, the thing is, that's why I'm inclined to take the over because they've accounted for that. Like both of these terrible teams playing, and people are wanting to take the under, so they've already juiced it for that. So I'd rather, honestly, I like taking the over in this game more than either side. Just because I could see both teams being so bad, I could just see like some pick sixes, just some blown, defense, and it just going over. It doesn't need much to go over 40. So, but
Final
it
score
looks like Nick,
predictions
like
13-10.
looks like Nick couldn't handle his he's just
Nah, his brain.
his brain was too
Brain
much,
turned
is
off.
overloaded. Just okay. So that's about it for this show. Hopefully you found some winners in there, and then we'll be back tomorrow for the DFS show where we give out our best DFS plays position by position. But thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.
Peace.
Peace.